It's been a while. I'm gonna need a couple more. Woo, she's warm.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to this or not looking forward to this.
I don't think I realized that they were both 130 plus proof.
Yeah, it's going to be a big day. And what an interesting matchup, because one of these whiskeys was one of our whiskeys of the year just a couple of years ago, and the other one is a brand new expression, sort of, from Jack Daniel's. Let's just introduce the competitors here, and this is going to be a blind tasting. We're going to get right to it. Number one, we have the Jack Daniel's Limited Edition 2020 Barrel Proof Single Barrel Rye. Ours happens to come in at 131.8 proof versus the newcomer, the new Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof Rye Whiskey. And the one we happen to get is 134.1 proof. Holy moly.
This is a big proof mashup. Let's get right to it.
On to the nose, glass number one.
Oh, yeah. She's proofy.
Tobacco, cherry, maybe strawberry.
Yeah, it smells pretty creamy, actually. If something can smell creamy. Vanilla, oaky, of course.
Yeah. Just sitting here staring at it.
It's
intimidating to me.
I know. If I didn't know if it was a rye, I might be confused that it was a bourbon. But there is a hint, like a baby hint of mint in there.
Mm-hmm. I'm already going back and forth.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go glass two.
Glass two's got a nice brown sugar presence on it.
Yes, very much brown sugar.
By the way, these have both been open, these bottles, for a while, and they've been in the glasses here for 30, 40 minutes now, so it's not like they've just been poured. There's a lot happening here.
This one smells more oaky, a little bubblegum on the nose here. It's flavorful, but not as flavorful as glass number one.
It's interesting. I'm finding darker brown sugar on glass two, which strikes me as being more subtle than the nose on glass one, but maybe I like that a little more. Not sure yet. That's up for grabs.
Subtle's a good term. I said not as flavorful, but it's just more subtle.
Subtle.
Well, glass number one.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's been a while. It's been a while. I'm gonna need a couple more. Woo, she's warm.
That's the highest proof whiskey we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that was good. It's like right. I missed all the flavor notes. I forgot that it was gonna be so warm.
It is very good. It's still providing flavor notes. There's a lot of oak. There's vanilla. Oh man, that high test Jack Daniel's flavor profile. No matter what it is, the Tennessee whiskey, these Tennessee ryes, they're just delicious.
Oh, there it is. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's really oaky. There's a dark cherry note in there. Gosh, I really would have thought this was a bourbon. Like, it tastes like a bourbon to me.
Man, does this coat the tongue nicely.
Ooh.
Oh, that's just plain excellent.
It's oaky and dark and vanilla and dark cherries and
dark,
yeah.
Dark flavors, what we associate with dark flavors, that rich vanilla, the oak, the dark brown sugar. Those are my favorite whiskey flavors, and they are all over the place on this one, and it's just coating the mouth.
Yeah, the finish does, though, give away a little bit of that rye spice. My tongue got real dry and almost got that dance that I sometimes we talk about with the ryes. But
the rye does
like,
show up on the finish. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but it was like a minty, not a sweet. It's nothing about this sip is sweet. It's like a dark mintiness. I don't know.
It's good peppermint, though. It's not like a spearmint that I'm not a huge fan of. I'm going to take a good sip of water and sit for a while and let my palate calm down before we move on to glass number two.
All right, glass number two?
Yeah, I feel well rested. Let's get on to that one. This is great. We're going to enjoy this tasting and then take a nap.
This one tastes a little bit brighter, lighter. There's rye spice on it. It's oaky, but it's not overpowering. And the proof does not... I don't know if number one was just very... I mean, they're both very strong, over 130 proof. But maybe I'm just used to it now.
This is almost more pine, maybe cedar than oak to me.
Woodsy.
Yeah. Very interesting. Brighter flavors coming out of this. I would say maybe more strawberry.
These are different.
Than cherry.
I didn't think they were going to be so different.
This one also coats very well.
She's warm. There's my warm sip. I think I got excited because it was a little bit lighter on that first one.
Yeah.
But that proof's coming through there.
Yeah.
There is like a dry oak on this.
Yeah, it's definitely charred wood on there too. There's nothing toasted about this. That is decadent charred, dark char wood.
Yeah, I think this glass number 2 tastes more like a rye than glass number 1.
I think you're right.
I think there was a little bit of rye presence on glass 1, but it is, to me, inherently more bourbon profile with just a little bit of rye in there. And glass number 2 has all the rye stuff.
I'll be honest, at first blush, I know that
is dry.
I know that the new single barrel rye barrel proof Jack Daniels, the new one, the reason that we're doing this tasting, I know that's a little more readily available than the 2020 limited edition, and that's a good thing, because if you felt like you really missed out on that 2020 limited edition rye, if these two glasses are any indication, I think that this is a nice consolation prize, because there's a lot to be said for both of these. They're both fantastic. There's not a huge discrepancy between I like this one better than this one.
Right.
At least that I'm noticing on the first sip. So if you were bummed about missing out on 2020 limited edition, but you got your hands on this new one, I think that's a great consolation prize.
Yeah. Lemon and strawberry. That's what I got.
Lemon?
Yeah.
I want some lemon. Yeah, it's sort of lemony, citrus, zesty, strawberry combo.
Yeah.
That's refreshing and nice. That's actually real good.
I'm going to take one more spin through both of these, and then I want to add a drop of water because they're so proofy that I just want to see if that cuts a little bit, and then I can get really down to the flavors. I say I don't need to drink all of these tonight.
No.
There's a bit of that Tennessee potpourri-ness in there. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. That was almost like burned tobacco or leather or...
It's all in there. These are they're so layered. They're so complex. Both of these. Glass number 1, I think, is bringing a little more to the party in terms of flavors that you can actually pick out.
Glass number 1 for me on the finish on this sip was more almost like campfirey. Like there was something. It doesn't taste like a campfire. It's not smoky by any means, but there's just something like a residue of like after it's done, the wood is done burning. So like that char. I got that on that. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, what I was saying before is that I don't get toasted wood from this. I get very, very dark charred wood. I think we're kind of saying the same thing there.
Oh, we did. You said it more succinctly, and I just Judaismed it.
That is about right. I'm really, really enjoying Glass 1 right now, I will say. Eager to get back to Glass 2 and check that out. And then I like the idea of adding some water to these because that's how I would drink these anyways. It'd be very unusual for me to just sit down with one of these bottles.
Oh, yeah.
Be like, I'm going to pour this neat. Holy cow.
Yeah, this glass would be sitting in front of me for, well, probably the whole movie. So
Probably
I guess it's probably a good Friday night pour.
It'd be a double feature.
Yeah. One more note on glass number 1 for me is that I got a little mustiness on that. So I don't know if it's a little bit about the char and like all of that presence, but there was a little mustiness that came through.
Which I tend to like. To me, that's like walking into a barrel house, into that rick house, and getting that in your nose. It gets in your, you can taste it on your palate. You can almost feel it, like your throat is fuzzy. Is that?
I don't know.
Does that sound appealing?
I bet you people like that.
Somebody liked that.
Somebody liked it. You know what tastes good? That cold water. Because these are warm. So I like glass number 2. I do not think that this will actually be really interesting because if glass number 2 is the special release, I say that.
Oh, wow.
Glass number 1 actually tastes like a special release. Like there's something about it that's like richer and darker and flavorful. The flavors of glass number 2 are wonderful. I like them all. They just don't seem like that extra that you would expect. So that would be actually really interesting if glass number 2 was the special release.
And I'm actually with you on that. I think that glass number 2 has that citrusy strawberry on the palate. It's got a really interesting nose as well. But the flavors on glass number 1, that richness, that decadence, that darkness that we were talking about, is setting it apart a little bit here. So when we put water in these, it'll be interesting to see. But so far for me, the front runner is glass number 1. I will say this about both glasses. There is a cinnamon presence that's very nice. It's like walking into a bakery and smelling cinnamon, which is my favorite way to smell cinnamon.
Maybe some like gooey cinnamon roll cinnamon.
Now my mouth is watering.
I know.
All right, we're going to take a break and put a few drops of water in each one of these, and then we'll be right back. Okay, 3 drops of water in each one of these. So we start with glass 2 this time?
Yeah, let's do it. Didn't change the nose much, actually. Oh, I kind of like it with the 3 drops of water. It did cut the proof just a little bit.
Oh, that's much more palatable.
But it is really flavorful now.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. It's oaky and vanilla.
There's like a chocolate bark that's showing up with a peppermint. It's almost like that, like white chocolate Christmas time.
Yeah.
The bar of chocolate you get with the candy cane sprinkled into it. I don't know what I'm talking about.
So this is what I'm saying. You don't have to be rigid in your whiskey drinking here. I like it with the 3 drops of water. I think it adds a really nice element.
Yeah, it's more palatable. You get more flavors from it. It's more enjoyable in general, and that's just from 3 drops of water.
Yeah. Ooh, the cinnamon comes through really nice. Oh, it really cut the proof. I mean, we've been going back and forth, so maybe I'm getting more accustomed to it.
I don't know. The caramel is showing up here, and that is such a nice base. Like, all of a sudden, that's the predominant flavor, and the rest of it's kind of riding on top of it. I like that. Hold the phone. Glass 2 showing up with some great flavor.
Yet.
No, that's fantastic.
I'm excited to see what happens to glass number 1.
Let's find out.
The nose is, I don't want to say superior on this glass, but it is more flavorful, more powerful. Ooh, yeah. Dang.
Holy cow.
That dark cherry note is just decadent.
It's so decadent. That's delicious.
These are good. Well done.
Yeah, good job. Jack Daniel's, a little-known distillery if you haven't heard of them.
Yeah, if you haven't heard of them,
Wow.
like they did a good job here.
They're doing really good work. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, my mouth is just coated with like a candy sweetness now.
I kind of just want to sit here and think about it. Like, I just want to... It's good.
It's really good.
Really good.
We've been tasting for a while. This is going to be a short-ish video. But we've been tasting for almost an hour now, and it's still delicious. The flavors are long-lasting on both of these. We've been trying to do them justice. Very, very good.
Glass number 1 tastes sneaky.
Sneaky?
Yeah, it tastes like bourbon, and then like at the very last second, it sneaks in all those rye flavors. The rye is super present on the finish.
Yeah, it does show up at the finish, absolutely.
There's not, like, I don't get a ton of rye on that nose, a little bit on the nose, but really not in the palate. The finish is where that rye really comes, like a train.
Man, I think that before we added the water, glass number 1 was the clear front runner for both of us.
Totally.
When we added the water did a lot more to glass number 2 than it did to glass number 1. I gotta be honest, with water in here, I'd be hard pressed to choose a favorite. I actually think with water in it, I like glass 2 better.
I know. I think these are both winners. Well done again. Yep. I agree that whatever's in glass number 2, just those 3 drops of water didn't change the profile, but it cut a little bit of that proof.
Yep.
And those flavors just kind of got enhanced. Like,
it allowed it all to show up.
Yeah, everything just got a little bit brighter, a little bit more distinct. Mm-hmm. Really nice to drink.
So keep in mind, of course, that both of these products are single barrel products, and the proof fluctuates on all of them across the board. So your bottles will definitely be different than ours. But I think what we've learned here today is that this new single barrel proof whiskey, this rye from Jack Daniel's, with the water or without, one way or another, it's hanging tough with that limited edition 2020 that we liked so much. Immediately pushes it up to near the top of the list on our list of favorite whiskeys of the year so far. So congratulations, one way or another, gold star to Jack Daniel's.
Yeah, and I rarely drink these because of that proof point. Like, it's just a lot.
All right, we've made decisions, and before we added the water, which one is your favorite?
I really like glass number 1.
I completely agree with you. After we added water, which one is your favorite?
Crazy enough, I liked glass number 2. Something about cutting that proof point a little bit made those flavors rise to the top, and it was delicious.
It gained a caramel backbone that made everything else that much better. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Glass number 1 before water, glass number 2 with water.
Wow.
Let's find out what in the heck we've been drinking here. Glass number 1 is letter A.
Letter A.
A as in, oh man, that's good whiskey. What do you got there?
Glass number 1 was the single barrel rye, 134.1 proof. That's the regular, everybody can buy it on the shelf beauty.
Wow, so that's the new bottle that we
Holy
think.
smokes.
We don't know if it's not, I wouldn't call it readily available. We've seen it out there, so we know it's
True.
around. Hopefully you were able to get your mitts on one. Wow. Okay.
Wow, that was a surprise. I was 100% sure. Okay, 99.9% sure that was the special edition.
It tasted like the special edition. It coated the palate like a special edition. This is actually really surprising to me.
How about that? I
Wow.
am just tickled about that, actually.
I'm thrilled about this. This is fantastic. Well, shoot, there you have it. With a little bit of water, the 2020 limited edition opened up, but we liked the new Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye better. Are we crazy? Let us know if you've done this. Let us know if you've had the same results or wildly different results, because every palate's a little bit different. But all we know is that these Jack Daniel's single barrel proof ryes are delicious, and from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. I am pleasantly surprised. I can't believe it. I love that.
Crazy.